Hello everyone, Xflyn here, and today I want to show you a banger of the build which I've been playing for the couple past weeks probably. So this is Necromancer Holy Relic build, and this is pretty powerful. Even with the stuff which I have, which is not really fully optimized or anything, I have no issues running tier 16 8 mod maps, no problem. You don't need even to look at modifiers. You want to run tier 16 8 mod with 5 risk scarabs, no problem, you can do that. You want to do some tier 16.5 farming, no problem as well. You want to add up some risk scarabs, no problem as well. So this can do basically any content in the game. At least I did most of the things which I needed, and I didn't saw any kind of much of the problem. As you can see, I did all my map favorite slots. I got all my void stones with this build, so it is pretty powerful. And compared to my items and everything, which isn't really optimized, I invested quite a lot in a lot of stuff which is not needed and is just for memes, if you can say so. But a lot of stuff isn't fully optimized or anything, and it still can do like all the farming strategies or whatever you want with it. So it is pretty insane, and if you like this kind of playstyle, I strongly suggest to try it out and see. So how this build works and how it does. So first of all, we're using Lancing Steel of Spraying. We can use the skill, and as you can see, there's plenty of the small like arrows, projectiles flying. Whenever any of those projectiles will hit a mob, we have these holy relics next to us, 3 of them. Whenever any of these projectiles will hit the enemy, those relics start hitting enemies as well, and they just immediately teleport on the top of enemy. So the clear speed is really good. You can play it really safe, like if the boss or whatever you want to kill and want to try to avoid his attacks is like even almost off screen of your no problem, just spam your attack skill and your holy relics will finish the job for you without any issues. So this is what I've been doing. I have my animated guardian as well, which has only 2 items, as you can see, because I haven't put anything else. Once again, that's not a problem to clear most of the content, and I believe once we finish everything in the places, it will be really strong build. So once that out of the way, first maybe let's go over the items and what items do I have and how does it work. So for our main hand, we're using one hand sword, just basically for attacks per second. The faster we can attack with this our skill, the faster our whole relics can attack the mobs as well. So we're using the sword, nothing too fancy. All we have to make note of, we need more attack speed and more minion increased damage, and that's it. And benchcraft is triggers socketed spell when you use a skill. And the reason why I use this, because we put despair, so it automatically curses the mobs with despair. Then we're using bone offering, so it's automated skill, and we're using desecrate, is the same thing, automatic skill. We don't need to do anything else. It's lazy one button build. You don't need to play piano builds like in this one. Then moving on, next, the helm. Geoffrey Crest, basically just because of +1 maximum number of summon whole relics. So as you can see, we have total 3 of them. Usually you get 2 from the skill gem itself and +1 from this helm, so it's +3. It gives us plenty of resistances, so you can fix a lot of your resistances with this helm. Also, we have corruption socketed skill gems get 90% cost and reservation multiplier, which is great. And we are putting our most intensive like auras here. So we have haste. That's my personal preference. If you don't want, you can use something else. I'm just using haste myself. Of course, we're using malevolence just for the damage, and it reserves 50% of mana. Same with haste. And we're using flesh and stone just for some survivability, because we are in sand stance, so we take less damage from enemy hits. And basically that's it. One thing to mention, if you want, you can run with Dark Monarch. With this one, you can have 4 of the total Holy Relics, but then you cannot get any more any other like summoned like minions, right? Because it says cannot have minions other than summon Holy Relics. So in this case, you won't be able to use your Animate Guardian or your Golems or your Spectres, which I'm not using. Even though I still don't have any Spectres, as you can see in my skill gems, and it's still pretty fine, and it does most of the content. So and as you can see, I have still 1 gem slot left here. I'll figure it out what I want to use there, but for now it is what it is. Moving on next, Amulet, Ashes of the Stars, best in slot, without any questions, because the thing is, how do we scale our Holy Relic damage is basically by applying and stacking the quality, because it depends on how fast those Holy Relics attacks, and only one to scale their attack speed is to stacking the quality. So there is some different breakpoints of the quality. So basically the points are 2 quality, 14, 30 quality, then 52 quality. At 52 quality you'll get around 5 attacks per second. Then 82 quality, with 82 quality you'll get around 6 attacks per second. And 128 quality, which is around 7.5 attacks per second. So as you can see, we already achieved over 128. You will get where we're not getting any benefit if we're over 128. I have 130, but that's okay. So this is only way to scale the damage of the Holy Relic. And by the scaling this damage is like just stacking bunch of quality gems. Of course there's a lot of support gems which scales as well, but this is the main ingredient how you want to increase your damage mostly. So this amulet gives us +1 to all skill gems and +29 all quality of skill gems. Also, I got Anoint Decay Ward. I just bought it like this. I don't have, I mean, I can use any another one because right now my minions doesn't die, so I do not need even this Decay Ward. But probably the best one if you want to use some Spectres, there's Anoint which gives +1 Spectre, or some other anointments, whatever you want. I mean, for now I have this, but as I said, I really don't need it. All you need is Ashes of the Star with as much quality as you can get. Moving on next, Shield, the Surrender. Pretty good shield. Maybe I will upgrade it later, but for now it does its job perfect. What we have from this is some armor. Because we are struggling to stack armor, so we need to get armor from everywhere we can. And the main important part is recover almost 400 life when you block, and we have block chance of 63. If we are gonna use our Bone Offering, we get 78 block. So at 78 block, and every time we block attack damage, we recover 400 life. So that's pretty good and pretty good quality of life. In here we are running Summon Chaos Golem just to cap our chaos resistance, because as you can see, with our Golem we have 75. Capped, then Flame Dash, just to move around faster. And precision, just for one of my jewels, which I'll show later. It is not necessary. You can replace it with whatever you want. Moving on, next main piece gear of the items is Diala Malefication. So why this one? Because it can give us quality on the skill gems, and as if you remember, we stack quality, so this is the best in slot. I got the corruption of +1 to level of socketed gems and 40% increased damage. You totally do not need it. You can go with a regular one. Just you need to know how to put your gems, because as you can see, some gems in red sockets have +2 level, and in green sockets they have 30% to quality, and you can put to whatever slot you want, because gems can be socketed in the item ignoring socket color. So what we have here, obviously we have Summon Whole Relic of Conviction. This is our main skill, and it's automated. We are running Empower support, so it gives +6 levels to supported skill gems. We're using Awakened minion damage support, so they will do more damage, right? We have Awakened enhanced support. This is really expensive, you don't need it, but with this one, I believe only with this one we can reach our last breakpoint of 128 quality. So if you want to go like all in, this is necessary. But once again, if you don't need to, you can going to be perfectly fine with normal enhanced support gem. Then moving on, next, Awaken Unbound Ailment support and Awakened Void Manipulation support for more chaos damage, right? So this is the armor I've been using. Now let's move to the rings. Rings are pretty simple. Minion resistances, stats, whatever you need. Minions deal increased damage, some elemental resistances for minions, and benchcraft non-channel skills have minus mana cost. Same thing with another ring, stats if you need, and minion stuff to fix all your own resistances, and same benchcraft just to get some mana cost down on our skill. And moving on, next, gloves, nothing too fancy, pretty easy to get. Some spell suppress, minion damage, and stats, resistances, whatever you want, whatever you need. In the belt, probably best in slot right now, Darkness Stygian Vice, just because we can equip 2 Abyssal sockets, and 99% increased effect of socketed Abyss jewels. So here we have basically only minion nodes. If you can get something else good, it's great, but for now this is what I have. So basically just the minion damage, and another jewel is minion has chance to poison, and some another nodes for minion damage, right? And moving on, next, what we have is boots with some increased movement speed, some stats, whatever you want, resistances, movement speed, one more slot to fix all the stuff that you need. So basically it's just what you need is your stats, what you want to equip the items and skill gems, then to fix your resistances, and to get as much movement speed as you can, right? So this is what I have. This one is life flask, but I usually do not even use that. You can use whatever else you want in this slot. For the flask, I'm using Quicksilver flask for increased movement speed, to get some armor, because on armor we're pretty low. We're only at 3200 armor, so this helps quite a lot. Then we have Silver flask because of onslaught, and we're using Quartz flask just to suppress spell damage, and we have some additional increased armor during effect. So this is all the items which I have, and we can probably go on the skill gems, which I actually missed on the gloves. So on the gloves I'm using Animate Guardian just to have it, and for Animate Guardian I just used only 2 items. So it's Kingsmaker, obviously, just for fortification, and some body armor which I equipped to him, and I do not even remember what kind of armor did I equip for him. So but he's doing fine, even without head, no problem, he does his job. So next we're using minion life support, just for our animate guardian will have more defenses and more life. And we're using meat shield support, same story for that thing. So I have still one slot. Probably you can use specters, but I'm not using them as well right now. I can kill most of the content and clear the maps without it. With them it will be even a lot better, but it is as it is right now. There's plenty of ways to upgrade, so as this is what I meant with non-optimized gear at all. And on the boots, we're using Lancing Steel of Spraying. This is the actual skill which we're using, and spraying all those projectiles. We're using life gain on hit support, so basically whenever we hit we get a life gain back. Withering touch support, so the targets which we hit has chance to be withered. And returning projectiles, so we can hit even more targets around us. So I think I covered all of the gems and all of the flasks right now, right? So now we can go over the basic stats itself. As you can see, my resistances are kept. It's all good. Our armor is pretty low, but even with this armor I have no problem doing the most content. Chance to block, as I said, you just use bone offering automatically, 70-80%. So we have quite a good, quite a high block chance. And now probably we can go over the skill tree and see what we have. So we are Necro. In the Necro I'm taking minion damage, obviously, then mindless aggression for more max life and more damage, minion damage and life nodes, bone barrier, so additional physical damage reduction per minion. And remember, I'm not using any specters, which is minions, so with them I will get 3% more physical damage reduction. And it's some leech, and minion gain 40% of life as extra shield. Then we are going here for some more minion damage nodes, and for minions have Unholy Might. And the last but not least, I'm using offering skills also affect you. And so basically all those offering skills we're using are affecting us. If you don't want, you can take, instead of this one, you can go to the Commander of Darkness. So it will give some speed to our allies, and our allies will deal increased damage, and you and your allies will have more elemental resistances. So maybe with this one, if you're struggling to fix your resistances, this is great to take. So any of those will work, depends on what you want and how you build. So now let's go over the passives real quick, what we're having. So first one, if you can see, it's Timeless Jewel. This Timeless Jewel, I got this one just to have these two nodes, Slumlord nodes with minions deal 80% increased damage. I got two nodes here. Then I have some max life, max mana, some minion stats, and so on. And here we have Forbidden Flesh for Profane Bloom. This is expensive, not necessary, but it's really hell of the fun to play with this whenever there's mass screen multi-explosions going on. Yeah, so I really like to play with this. It's really good clear speed against the bosses. It's not really doing anything much. So for the bosses you can do you can use any another, like Void Beacon probably is the best one for single target damage. But here I have Profane Bloom, so it's really fun to play with this, right? But it's expensive. And moving on, next I'm taking some nodes here for some minion damage and stuff like that. Max life, increased armor, some stats, and increased max mana, so I can use more of the skills. Here all the minion nodes, minion leech 1% damage of life. Moving on, next on left side, also minion nodes, increased effect of offerings. Moving on, next also some elemental resistances and stuff like that, and block mastery. Then moving on, next we have life and shield and some chaos res. Here we have some mana reservation and nodes, so we can equip plenty of our skills. Auras, Then here, basically minion nodes, nothing too fancy. Going on here, we have one Gaslight Jewel. For here, stats and minion stats as well. So this is a great way to add the stats whatever you need, and rest of that just put minion damage whatever you can get. We have +1 to endurance charges, so it will help us with our survivability a little bit. Then some max life and increased effect of consecrated ground you create, but we are not creating any ground, so it's fine for now. Then moving on next, first large cluster jewel, just minion deal increased damage, and the stats whatever you want. We just basically need to have 2 slots here. So for 1 slot we're using Gaslight Jewel, so minions have 6% damage over time multiplier per Gaslight Jewel affecting you. So the more jewels you will have, the more damage over time multiplier they will have. And since we're using mostly of ghastly jewels, this is the best in slot, I guess, jewel for us. Then we having 1 crimson jewel, so corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you. Rest stats, whatever you can get, stats, resistances, and so on. So this is quality of life, so we don't need to worry about corrupted blood. Moving on next, we have some nodes here. I picked some for dexterity just because I needed. Then we're using some reduced cost skill and increased life, not mana. And here some resistances while holding shield, and +1 to all elemental res. In this slot we're using prismatic jewel, so this gives us a little bit of increased life and increased mana. Most important thing is like increased attack damage while affected by precision, but I'm not sure if does work because we are attacking with our minions, so probably this doesn't work, but precision doesn't cost like anything, so that's okay. You can onslaught for 4 seconds while affected by haste, so this is why I'm using haste myself, so we can get some onslaught after the kill, and we have haste all the time. And then the best, which I like, is unaffected by poison while affected by malevolence. So with this one we do not care about any poison damage, and this is another quality of life thing. So moving on next, we have hits. Hits here cannot be evaded and you never deal critical strikes. Then we will moving on next, some life nodes and some elemental res nodes. Moving on next, another forbidden flame jewel just to allocate profane bloom for that sweet explosions during the mapping, which feels really great, but once again not really necessary. Even without this it does really fine, and with this one it doesn't do anything much against the bosses, right? So next one, some armor, max life, reduced mana cost of attacks, and attack skills cost some life instead of mana. Moving on next, some chance to block nodes, and the last but not least, we are going for the one more cluster jewel. And the same story with us with another, we just basically need minion damage and stats, chaos res if you want, and so on. And in those we are using 2 ghastly eye jewels. So on here just stats whatever you want and minion damage nodes. In another one is resistances if you need, and some damage nodes as well. So this is how does it look right now. There's plenty of ways of how to improve it and how to scale even more damage, but right now it feels really great. As I said, I don't have any single problem doing most of the content. I can do tier 16.5 maps, 8 like corrupted maps with 8 mods or even more, and use 5 risk of scarabs. And yeah, you can die 1 time or 2 times, but most of the time there's no issues by clearing it. You don't care about most of the mods, whatever you have. I guess the most node which I do not really like, where you cannot regenerate mana and life, so then you cannot spam your skills non-stop. So but overall it's doable and it has no problem whatsoever. So this is my build. how I done it. Probably the credit should go to Baylor Mage, because he is the OG of this build, and he done a lot of stuff of this. So if you like this kind of content, you can check Baylor Mage YouTube as well, and he's doing really great stuff. So this is basically my take of that build. And so yeah, as I said, it's really fun build. It's not really expensive to start getting. I think I started at around 70 divines or something like this, and then you can just scale your damage up to the moon. Obviously it will not reach some crazy damage as strength stackers or armor stackers, but it does the job pretty well and can clear most of the content without much of the issues. So as I said, I invested quite a lot of stuff just to get like on here for that CDR breakpoint. So we have more than 128 just with Awaken Enhance. This was really expensive. Then we added those Forbidden Flesh gems for Profane Bloom, which is also really expensive, and it's not really needed to go this build to work. It just feels fun, right? And the most important part, why you're playing this, just to have some fun. So I'm for sure having fun with this build for sure, and I probably will tweak a couple of things. I have a few ideas, few things what to do, and I'm pretty sure that it will feel even better right now. And right now this is not non-optimized or whatever, and even without our specters and stuff like that, not fully equipped animate guardian, we're doing pretty fine. And one more note, for the merc I'm using for the despair, even though I have my own despair, I like this one as well. And we have some envy and zealotry, right? And for the merc gear, it's basically the leer cast. So you and your nearby allies have gained 50% increased damage, then Perkle Stow, then this gold ring, and another one is the Orderous Damning, so our merc can apply additional curse. And here some enemies, curse enemies with an elemental weakness on hit, even though I'm not sure if it's really worth. So it's pretty scuffed merc gear. You can get way better, but for now I'm just keeping it just because of despair, envy and zealotry. If you want, you can use something like kineticist, so will have haste, so you can drop down your haste from here. It will have some elemental weakness, but since most of our damage is chaos damage, it doesn't apply for them, but you can go with that as well. So this is my take on this build. It's really been fun. And so yeah, you can tell in the comments what do you think about this. And as I said before, if you haven't tried this and you like this kind of playstyle, you for sure have to try it out. So this is how I play with this. It's been really fun and I've been really enjoying it. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can leave that in the comments. So for now, that's it. So stay chill, hit hard, and see you in the next one.
Still